commentators justice. And with that, I think I'll say thanks so much to everyone for such a fruitful conversation, and really appreciate your involvement and for having me here today with you all. So Rosemary, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Just that it's been an extremely valuable 90 minutes from our point of view. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with us on a Friday afternoon and giving us a lot of food for thought. It's just been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary, and also team, for a very interactive workshop. I hope everyone had fun with the little change with breakout rooms. It certainly gives NetThing really that sociable and human element, which is really nice since we're all joining in remotely. So I would love to basically just straight away give the floor to Sandra and Sarah, who will be running our last but not least session on the future of NetThing. It may be the last session, but it's really important for NetThing to basically be able to learn more from the community about how you felt this event has been for you, and whether there are things that could have been better, and even more importantly, if you could be a part of NetThing. We don't have time for a quick break, unfortunately. We have to jump straight in, but feel free to go for a break if you like. You don't have to, you know, switch on your camera the whole time or your audio the whole time. Please go ahead and have a break if you need it. Just because I see Terry, is it Terry? No, Alexa saying he needs a break. So that's fine. Go ahead and have a break if you need. For those of you who would like to, who are ready to go, please join us as I hand the floor over to Sandy and Sarah.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I was just reflecting on Rosemary talking about how grateful Outer is to have people stay so late on a Friday afternoon, and thinking about the challenge that Sarah and I now have at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. So I just want to say thank you very much. I think there's a couple of screens of us here, so maybe 30 or 40 people. The idea, I suppose, of what Sarah and I would like to facilitate is similar to what we did last year. We did you know, thinking about the physical events and thinking about remote events. And I think this is my third year involved in AURGF or NetThing. So I'm conscious to acknowledge that there are many on this session now that have been involved in AURGF on and off for years. Canberra 2 years ago, you know, you can keep people in a room, you can keep them locked there for the day, they don't really leave. Last year, whilst some filtered out, we still had a high number. I think the challenge running remote events is, you know, 300 registrations, but then, you know, only 60 people or 80 people, or not sure what the height was, whereas, you know, and down to the last 40. But having said that, there's enough people here. Every year that we've been involved, we want to try and think about what was great about what we've done, but more importantly, what can we do as a community to improve for next year, NetThing 2021. The way that we want to facilitate this is with an agile retrospective, and we're going to keep it pretty light and pretty fast. A purist retrospective would involve 4 questions and take close to an hour. I think on a Friday afternoon, Sarah and I have synthesised it down to just 2 key questions, and we're going to riff in a board called Miro. So Sarah's going to post the link, the Miro board, in to the chat link now. If you can all jump into Miro, the board has been set to open, and it's a sticky noting, ideation, collaborative session here on a Friday afternoon. I do want to acknowledge and think about how fearful, I suppose, or anxious many of us were leading into NetThing at the beginning of yesterday morning. This is a volunteer effort, and pulling together a remote event with volunteers, pulling together a physical event, the integrations between the physical and the virtual event, pulling in the tech talk with a different mob today, and the seamless transitions. There's certainly a couple of things that I've experienced where I've just gone, oh my God, this has been fantastic. But again, the purpose of today is to kind of share what we really loved and liked about how we pulled off NetThing 2020, but more importantly, how can we make it better for next year? Before we get going, I do want to do this in order if it's okay. So firstly, I need to just get a sense that everybody has landed in the Miro board. You've found our beautiful yellow wattle, and there's two parts to the Miro board, and I might just very quickly share my screen just so I can show you what we're going to do over the next sort of 20 minutes or so.
It's becoming a little bit of a hive of activity in there, which is great.
Yeah, it is great. But if I can get you hold off, just stop typing for a second. We're going to do the first question together as a group, which is what we loved or liked about NetThing. And I'm going to time box it to just 5 minutes. Then we're going to move to the next question, which is what could we do better next time? I'm also going to ask for some volunteers to help theme the area, what we could do better next time, but I'll get to that in just a sec. So I hope that you've found the dark blue part of the Miro board, and it's called What Did You Like About NetThing? Sarah, I'm just looking. Stop sharing.
Lost you, Sandy. Say that again.
Oh, I'm just looking to you and to others to try and get a sense that everybody's in there. But I need some shout outs either in chat or just maybe on audio. Is anyone not in there or having any difficulty? Shout out now.
So if anyone's stuck, feel free to add into chat or to raise your hand, and I can come over and help you out.
Fantastic. So Sarah's going to roam and help us. There's
Hang on
lots
a sec, Sandy. Sorry. Was that Keith? Did someone just try to jump in there?
Yeah, I can get into the demo front end, but what do I do then?
So you can see, can you find the board that's called, there's two parts of the board, Keith. There's a dark blue bit, and it's got a title called What Did You Like About NetThing 2020? And a lot of sticky notes.
Yep. So how do I actually put something there?
You pick one sticky note and you double click on it, and then you can type straight into it.
Okay.
So maybe if everybody just grabs a sticky note, double clicks into it and types, you can see your words. Many of you will have to zoom right in. So it's like, imagine the biggest whiteboard of the universe and use your zoom mechanism on your laptop that you can zoom in so that you can see the words that you type in your sticky note.
Yeah, it's not letting me type. It's just going through something. It just keeps putting in result. And when I try and type, nothing happens.
Is anyone else having that difficulty? Maybe Sarah, can I get you to grab Keith and maybe see what you can do there to help him out? Looks like other people are having an okay time getting sticky notes in. So before I get going, I know you've started typing, which is fantastic. And this is almost impossible to control on a Friday afternoon. I'm going to turn the timer on starting in a minute, and we'll get going. 5 minutes I'll give, and we would love to know as many ideas or thoughts that you have about what you've liked about NetThing this year. So I'm going to put the timer on now for 5 minutes, and off you go, riffing on as many sticky notes as possible. What did you like about NetThing? Sarah, I might need your help. There's a big fat sticky note that's appeared down the bottom.
Yes, whoever's created that big sticky, if you could click off it so we can just move that out of the way, that would be awesome. Keith, I've just sent you a little message in chat. Just let me know where you're at so I can help you out.
I was trying to sign up because it asked me to sign up.
Oh. do you want to try clicking the link again in chat? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't request a sign up. So
Well, it did.
No worries. I'll just reshare the link in chat.
Okay, I've clicked on a sticky note, but it's now telling me it's showing me as guest editing. Let's start. I don't know. So I hit let's start, I presume.
Give that a try.
It's just not letting me. It's going through an introductory video of some sort, and it's just in a loop. I can't do anything. I can't type anything.
No worries, Keith. Do you want to send me your comments and I can add them into the board on your behalf if you would
I think
like?
you'll have to. I'm not going to be able to use this thing.
No worries. Send them through and I'll add them for you.
Okay.
Same goes for anyone else who needs a hand.
We're about halfway through. What did you like about NetThing 2020? And I should say all the comments are anonymous because most of you are in the board as guests, and that's fine too.
Really the massage now is just really hard just doing that instead of just talk like throwing all the nutrients. And I said, well, considering my age now, and that just helps me with flexibility. Yeah, so I'm doing extravagance, but yeah, it really does. Well, I feel if your dad,
That's great. There's lots of comments coming. Thank you very much. Keep them going. We've got another minute and a half. If any of you are having any trouble at all, you can always send your comments to Sarah privately in chat and she can get them up on the board. I can see people starting to slow down. So it looks like we're coming to an end. We've just got on 30 seconds. If you're finished and want to take a break, I just ask you to take your cursor off to the left-hand side of the board and just take a lie down in the virtual white space that's there. Okay, I'll get you to finish up the sticky note that you've on now, and we've come to an end. I might just take a couple of minutes to share some of the stickies out loud. Sarah, are you in the middle of doing something?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, can you start from the top and I'll start from the bottom, and maybe we'll just alternate and read a sticky note out per each and see what we come up with?
Yep, sure. So just reading a couple out, did you say? Sorry, Sandy?
Yeah, we'll go two each.
Okay, no worries. I've got one here. I liked that so many people showed up and stayed.
Yeah,
Another one I've got here is I really like the range of topics and the speakers.
Yep, there's quite a few appearing here. Diversity of panelists and presenters, open, candid discussions on some difficult topics.
Right, I've got another one here. I thought the diversity of age and gender was better than we thought it would be, which is great. Another one here on diverse and interesting sessions.
Yep, there's definitely a theme emerging around how fantastic Melody is as an MC. So big ups to Melody. Low barrier for contributing and a genuine feeling of community. Loved being with the community.
Fantastic. Okay, I've got range of topics was great. What else? More for Melody. Melody's was awesome as an MC. Zoom rules, someone wrote in.
Riffing on that, Sarah, I've got the production quality was really high. As an old timer, I loved seeing the majority of new faces. We've got big ups for moderators from Pradeep, if you're there. Excellent moderator, properly engaged. Elliot and Bronwyn's session, Next Gen, is really important. More for Melody, more for Melody. Inclusion panel was awesome. Using breakout rooms was, and the discussion there is great. Sarah, any remaining for you?
Someone else has said here that they didn't have to fly anywhere.
Hey, thanks. Thank you very much. And the energy, just to finish up, and someone really loved the quiz. So thank you very much, everyone. That's really lovely. And it's good to kind of share in that and sort of spend, I suppose, a couple of minutes in it, particularly for any of the volunteers that are in this session today. Can I take us now over to the right-hand side? So if you move your cursor over, you'll see a teal or blue coloured board, and it says, what could we do better next time? And I can see that people have already started riffing on ideas. So I'm going to turn the timer on again for 5 minutes and give us time to help improve NetThing 2021. What could we do better next year in 2021? What time starts now, 5 minutes. What could we do better next time?
So for anyone who's having troubles getting across, just hold your mouse down and drag the board over to the right, and you'll be able to move to the right-hand side. You want to be where the light blue background is now.
Hey, Sarah.
Yes?
The cards are not like the notes are not color coded, are they? Like the colors?
No, the colors are just there for you to choose whatever you would like to use. The colors don't mean anything.
I actually put that in one of the cards. That can also add another dimension we can leverage on next year.
Fantastic, thank you. If anyone else is having an issue adding, feel free to send me a note privately and I can add it for you.
Thanks, everyone. This is looking really great. Another 2 minutes or so to go. I'm going to call for 3 volunteers to do something fun in a minute. So if you're feeling like you want to move sticky notes around, get ready to nominate yourself. Okay, we've just got on a minute to go.
Oh, someone just took my sticky. Got to be quick.
I also discovered we can, comment on other notes as well or expand on it. You can connect the 2 notes if you want to add something to an existing note. Use arrow.
And I'm just going to get you to start winding up your sticky note now. Sarah, could I ask if we can just start deleting some of the empty ones? And if I can ask everybody just to move to the right-hand side of this board so that Sarah and I can do some quick cleaning in order for the next part to occur. So if you just finish up your sticky and move off to the right-hand side of the board, so you're right off the teal board, would be really great. I'm interested in 3 volunteers, and you can just shout out, take yourself off mute. We want to start theming. This board's quite big, so it could be a bit difficult to theme easily, but I'm going to have a crack at it. Who on this call joining us this afternoon would like to put up their hand to come off mute and to start helping us theme? Any takers? Who's that? Bronwyn, excellent. 2 others?
What skills you need?
We're looking for groups. We're looking for similarities. So for example, there is something around, if I can zoom in, there's something around more young people. There's definitely a theme there. We want to pull all of those sticky notes together so that they're physically located on the board in the same place. Any other takers for theming? Come on, guys, Friday afternoon.
I'm happy to try.
Hey, Sandy, I'll try as well.
Okay, Terry, Alexa and Bronwyn, good luck. It's a big board. Have a crack at moving groups of like-minded sticky notes together, and I'll give you guys 3 minutes. For the rest of us, just enjoy reading them. Take a very short break, stand up, move your legs if you want.
Sandra, may I just say something?
Yes.
It's very easy to tag the cards. Maybe people can just tag the cards as we are reading them. I don't know. Would be on the way?
It's better tagging. It's probably better if we just move them at this stage. But okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'll look into that another time. There's definitely something around inclusion. I'm going to make one which feels like participation and inclusion on the top right.
So are we doing the left one or the whole board?
You do just the blue board, just the what could we do better next time?
I've put a whole lot of youth and inclusion related ones on sort of over to the left.
Okay, so bottom left is inclusion.
So Sandy, just to clarify, we're theming on the dark blue side at the moment, or?
Sorry, no, we're theming on the teal. Sorry, guys. Sorry, we're theming on what we could do better next time.
Okay, so we're theming on the teal, and we want to keep anything that's originally on teal, we want to keep it on teal, and we just want to find themes for other, anything similar in the teal area.
That's a giant star. Who's doing that one? Okay.
Whoever's on that star, do you mind just making it? Yeah, thank you.
Maybe at the top seems to be more like logistics type things around like the breaks need a DJ, that kind of thing.
Yeah, excellent. So there's a theme emerging, as Bronwyn said, at the top for logistics.
So we're still in the teal area, looking for things that are similar and grouping them together.
Okay, that might be good enough. Sarah and I will clean and keep theming. So Bronwyn, Terry, Alexa, thank you very much. Let's see, Bronwyn, let's start with you. You look like you had an awesome time bringing together what looks like an inclusion theme in the bottom left there. Do you want to read some of them out for us?
Yeah, there's a big theme around youth participation. So encouraging youth to join the discussions. Let's run a youth IGF in 2021. We've got a general theme around more diverse participants, more young people, inclusivity panel to include an immigrant, reach out to universities, more participants from minority groups and backgrounds. That's the kind of general theme, more noobs.
Thanks. Terry, did you find a theme at all?
I've just dropped 2 climate change ones in the bottom left-hand corner, but I don't see anything else there that mentions that. And there seems to be something about proposals from the community. There's 2 of those there. I'm just going to put them in the center. That's a big star one.
Yep, I'm dragging a circle one up there. So propose something around community participation in the submission phase. What do we got going up here on the top right? So really great suggestions around the logistics. Find out why only 1/3 of the registrants actually participated. I think that's bang on, whoever put that. Don't use webinar mode, it's a bit lonely. Not allowing partners to collect info for marketing purposes. Timing of school holidays and before long weekend, very good. I don't think I remember thinking about that. Run this on a weekend to allow for better turnout. Plan and think towards a longer event in the future. There is more to moderation than just moving from speaker to speaker, yes. Could have a variety of session formats and structures, shorter sessions, more interactive, too much emphasis on logistics. Yeah, that was tough this year, wasn't it, for those of us on the committee with going remote. I might just open it up. Anyone else want to call things out that's really important to them? There's certainly a big theme emerging in the middle around calls for proposals from the community, but anyone like to come off mute and share any thoughts?
Yeah, Sandy, I'm seeing quite a lot of them that are around more interactivity. That and maybe it was something that happened because of the online nature, but there seems to be a call for more discussion and less talking from the virtual front of the room.
Yeah,
always a balance, isn't it?
Mm.
I wonder, this is Lindsay, I wonder about the youth component and the request for the youth component. It might be nice for the committee to just visualize what would NetThing look like if it was driven by young people. So rather than having a youth IGF that's something very separate, to create something for and with young people. It might just, I think there was a real difference yesterday, especially ending that panel on a group of people that are emerging as leaders or quite dynamic, and it was just a very different group, and I was very invigorated by that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. Thanks for sharing that, Lindsay. What's going up here on the top right? We've got a bit of more government participation, more industry participation.
This might be the groups of stakeholders that aren't turning up.
Yeah. More Indigenous, more outreach. Sort of this participation one is a little overlap to inclusion, but I think it's the diversity of perspectives, I suppose, is critical, right?
Yeah, but I suppose we have to get them to come to the conference before we can get them included as well. So, yeah.
What have we got here? Remote dropout is a real problem. How might we keep the numbers proportional to the actual registrations? Yeah. Hope the
Sandy, would we be able to share screen just for, I guess, recording purposes? People won't know what we are talking about because it's just showing our faces and not actually the board.
Sure, let's have a go at this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start in the middle and just zoom in. Bear with me. My fingers decide to not work so well in the afternoon. So we've talked a little bit about this section here around calling for proposals from the community, getting the community to submit papers. Over here, we've got a really big theme that we've talked about before on inclusion and youth. And I think, Lindsay, you've made a really interesting and provocative idea around, rather than add them on, what would it look like if it was designed by them? I really think that's interesting. Little minor theme emerging here on the bottom left around climate change. What have we got going over here? More views from the audience, more interactivity. Remarks from the panel speakers were too long. What have we got going here? I'm just
Sandy, I think Quark Farm has his hand up.
Oh, sorry, I can't see. Yeah, if someone could help me with that, that'd be great. Over to you, Quark.
Hi, thank you. That's all right. I just thought I wanted to extend on something that Lindsay was stated about youth. The conference had a number of sessions that talked about a group of users that are impacted by the subject, and I think what would be good is to have their voice included somehow. If not a attendance, then maybe a case study of some sort with something. Just like with the inclusion session where you had some, I can't remember the name. I think Claire was showing the Instagram feed on how her site was being impacted, or her business being impacted by some of the AI learnings that big platforms were taking her posts offline or removing the posts. Yeah, like stuff like that. I think it's good to talk about it, but to hear the voices of those people affected, whatever the subject may be, I think it's really important because we may be making decisions or create policies that are impacting people, but without having them there, it's kind of pointless. It's hard, I know, but I think it'll be really good to have that.
To your point, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I think the actual use cases of the implications, it really came across strong in that session. What have we got here on the top right? We've got a combo of dropouts, website needs to improve. Yes, for those of us on the steering committee, possibly one of the most frustrating things for those poor folk that had to contend with it. Deliberately shape the sessions towards some clear conclusions and capture the outputs. For the record, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, but the wonderful Sam D is producing a report.
Yeah, it's a mad challenge in some cases, but part of what we do at NetThing is document what the main topics are and the main themes that have come from discussions and where they're heading. So it's a bit of an art to get it together, but yeah, there is going to be that as an output, as well, of course, as the recording of what we've gone through.
Yeah.
If I could just say the point of the synthesis document at APR IGF is it's a collective effort. So I mean, it's an opportunity for a bunch of people to get together and kind of work out more in a consensus way what should be said, rather than a report of, say, everything that was said or one person's view of what was said.
Yeah, and in fact, I think Sam really tried to bring that together last year by offering numerous opportunities for co-collaboration.
Right. Okay. No, I mean, I'm sure she did. I'm just pointing out the difference between a report and something that's deliberately a collective effort.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, actually. A really good point. Thanks. If I just zoom out and show us the kind of our co-creation here, let me say thank you to everyone who's contributed. Can I just open it up for a couple of minutes to give people an opportunity to come off mute? If there's anything on the board that you'd like us to attend to or to zone in on, please shout out.
I want to add something.
Please.
Alexa. Yeah, so leading to the event next year, like in groups that we're running, maybe we can bring up, like, if we have monthly events, maybe 3 months leading to the NetThing, we can bring up, hey, if anyone has a comment or suggestion or something like that, they can aggregate those comments internally from the group, association members, whatever that is, and a person can ultimately represent those ideas or opinions.
Yeah, I take inspiration from NetHui in the sort of the year-long calendar, I suppose, for want of a better word. And we have, I think it's a real challenge for us, but there's definitely desire amongst many of us to not necessarily see NetThing just as one event, but as a series of interactions across the course of the year.
I like that idea where you could keep that quite simple, because I think figuring out interactivity, especially knowing how hard the steering committee works to kind of get this up, where the themes are put out, and there's an invitation to comment on the theme, so that then by the time you're bringing it to the event, it feels very topical and very connected. So in some of the sessions, like especially say the ACCC, there's a bit of a feeling of this is the experts, and we kind of need to bridge that gap between this is how people on the ground are feeling about things, and this is how it's impacting actual life. I think that the inclusion panel did that very, very well. By bringing it back around to the practical realities of how those things get implemented.
So Sandra, just following on what Lindsay just said, I thought the inclusion panel was wonderful because they brought out some really key issues, right, faced by these communities. And one of the questions that I had was, perhaps that was a challenge to NetThing as a group. perhaps they did give us a challenge. Are we going to play a bridging role?
Yeah.
In trying to deal with some of these issues, or do we come back next year and have, listen to a whole group of new issues?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was something that was in my mind, and I just wanted to share that with you.
We should write that down. Bridging or issue identifying. I think that's very, very good point. Very, very important for purpose.
Somebody capture that.
The one thing I want to add is I want to congratulate the organising committee for the diversity of these couple of days, because for something that's relatively a techie conference, the fact that we had a lot of non-white males presenting has been fantastic, and I really do applaud you for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. I think the committee has been hyper conscious about that, and we went through peaks and troughs of worry and fear, and then it actually has turned out very well. So always more to do. Well, I think, Sarah, I haven't been looking at chat. Is there anything interesting we need to share there?
Cheryl's put a comment about the roadshow approach, and I think that's what NetHuey did, but that would be worth understanding a little bit more. So I'll put that down as a thing in.
Great, thanks.
Most of the comments in here are just building on what we've been talking about.
Yeah, great. Well, this is giving us a lot of stuff that we can work with. So unless we want to stay on this topic, I'm happy to kind of bring it to a close. So maybe an opportunity for anyone to raise anything while we're all together here as a group before I maybe hand to Andrew or hand to somebody else.
Sandy, we did have one request from Melody earlier on for us to take a quick snap, a quick photo of everyone that is still remaining after our retro.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If you feel comfortable to come off or turn your video on.
So guys, I'll give you an idea of what it looks like behind the scenes for APNIC running NetThing.
You need to just zoom out.
Let me just...
I'll spotlight you.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Nice.
What a reveal.
Aha! Fantastic to see the APNIC boardroom put to very good use.
Indeed. All right, here we go. Shall we do a snap?
Yeah, and anyone who wants to take a snap, whatever is the snap feature on your phone or on your laptop, I'd say, the next 30 seconds, look fabulous, smile, look like this has been the most profound thing that you've attended this year, and snap away.
And APNIC guys, thank you so much for your support.
Yes, I think it's Affilius and GoDaddy, Outer but APNIC, all of you have just been really highly participatory. So there's, when I think about what Melody has and Pablo and the folk at APNIC, you guys have had to do. I know we don't want to sort of point anyone out, but obviously APNIC in particular, the efforts you've gone to help us bring this together in a remote environment. There's and actually I'm starting to talk about sponsors, so I might stop. Oh,
Daleks.
That's Cheryl demonstrating packet decimation over satellite. There you go.
Yeah. Yes, satellite. Andrew, thank you everybody for helping us here. I did put one last thing on the board, which is the more voices at NetThing, the better it becomes. So join our group and ask for people's email addresses down the bottom. So for those that are on this call that aren't already connected to us or aren't on the steering committee and would like to join, we would love to have new faces. I think this year we've seen a truckload of new faces, which has been fantastic. And just on that point, I just want to do a big ups to Greta at Affiliates. You have lobbed yourself quietly into this group, and then we just said take the reins, and you took the reins, and you've just made a huge contribution. So thank you. But Andrew, I might hand back to you as chair of NetThing 2020.
Thank you, Sandra. So I was very happy with the summing up job you were doing and thanking our sponsors.
Sorry.
I thought it was lovely. Look, the reality is we all do appreciate the contribution that they have made that have enabled this to happen. And the work of the steering committee has been extraordinary over the course of the year. Now, we started the year with so much of Australia up in fire, and some of us thinking that we were going to have to leave our homes. And in Canberra, the smoke was so dense. We were had the most polluted airspace in all of Australia, and it was just difficult to get your head free of that stress and focus on the bigger picture. But something we talked about at the time was when you tuned onto ABC News in particular, or other news services, they were opening up web pages, and there was online information that people were relying on to know what was going on. So mapping the bushfires, communicating with each other, and it was how we were engaging with each other all year. And it really brought home to us just how important the internet is to Australia, and how important the underlying community of multi-stakeholder players, the users and runners and businesses are in that big equation of the internet running in Australia. And so, I mean, at one stage we actually said, should we just hold off until it's a less crap year? And we decided, well, it's actually really important that this conversation be held. The internet is only becoming more central in people's lives. Another conversation we had at the beginning of the year was how so many of us around the table had been involved in this work for years. And where were the new faces? Where were the new generation of people coming in? Youth is good, but not necessarily youth. People who've had life experiences elsewhere that they can bring into this environment. People who might not understand that what they're doing is impinged on by the internet hugely, but have a lot to offer. How could we become more diverse? How could we become more inclusive? And it was at that point that coronavirus popped up, and we kind of figured we're doing all right if we can just keep going, because the opportunity to reach out to different communities is often about building relationships and being in new environments, and a lot of that was taken away from us. But something that did happen was a few of us reached out to new members, and that's when we got Greta in, and Lucy, and Sam F. And they did bring new perspectives. And every so often would ask, why are you doing things? Don't you think these other issues are important? And that was incredibly valuable, I think, for us as a group and for NetThing heading on. So I think it's something we're open to, something that we really want. You could actually see in the comments, off on the margins of NetThing yesterday and today, people who had really good ideas and valuable perspectives. And every time it happened, I would say, why can't we have them on the steering committee? Or maybe we could get them into the panels. And I think, I hope our openness to that has come across. I hope the fact that, it's not like we've got the ball and no one else can play. The thing that we value more than anything else is people joining in and contributing and thinking and acting. The one bit that sort of came through all of yesterday was a call to activism. I think I said at the end of the day, but Malcolm Crompton at the beginning was saying, privacy and what governments do. people need to speak up. They need to be heard, because, basically people that don't speak don't get heard. People that do speak don't get heard. We heard that in the last session of the day. But you have to give it a try, and you have to build your alliances, and those of us that are organising things have to make sure the invitation is there, and that we can build on the people who are brave enough and energetic enough to actually come to the table and say, look, I'm willing to work with you, because it's an investment all round, really, isn't it? So yes, I don't know where that little segue was heading off to, but part of being the community is accepting the people that come, and part of joining a community is thinking about what you can do to make things better. And I think that's the ambition that we have behind NetThing. It's the thing that I've really appreciated today. I mean, that was the question that Alda is really asking. How can we be better? How can we do what's needed? And how can we hear what you have to say about it all? And so I think people came in with really positive attitudes, with an open mind about what we're trying to achieve, and they were thinking about how to work on being a better us, a better Australia, a better outer, a better internet community, something that's inclusive, something that reaches out for people, something that is open. So I think that's the shape of our ambition, and you could sort of see it in the sticky notes. Then you could see it in all of the sessions that we held today. It's a really, I think it was Sarah who was saying, often this is a really techie audience, and you can be quite limited that way. And there were times when we did deep dives, and I wasn't sure we were ever going to come back. Like Terry's session, it was like, oh my God, I sort of understand what's going on, but maybe I'm deluding myself. The DNS abuse session today, it was like, I was writing policy on this 17 years ago, and my God, we're talking about the same things and explaining it to different people. Is that all we're doing? And it's like, well, maybe that's what we need to do. There are always new people that haven't heard this. They're always, we've got to lay the foundations to build on together. So I think the reality is we're not limited in the horizons that we can reach for, or the people we can get involved. What we are perhaps limited in is, as a group of volunteers, our energy and our vision, and being aware of the opportunities that are there. And so I'd say as outgoing chair of NetThing, that's the thing that we really invite you attendees and people that might see a stream of this later on. That's what we really invite you to come and join us to do. To be intrepid and have new ideas and reach out to new people, and to include the people who are already here, and to build something good together. Something I promised to do was to refer to a couple of messages of support that we have had internationally. So I'll just paste a little, I hope I will paste a little link to some pre-recorded messages. So Jason Munyan, who's with the UN and has been working on the roadmap to digital cooperation, I think, that the Secretary General of the UN has released recently, was talking about how they're really focusing on three big agendas of connect, respect, and protect. Everyone has meaningful access to the internet. Human rights are protected online as well as offline, and the protect aspect is trust and security. And he was really emphasizing the need to link. He was pretty excited about our NetThing agenda, I think, if you watch his pre-record. And linking our national discussions and agendas with regional and international discussions. I think he was saying we had something to offer, and we should be brave about offering it. Melinda Clem from Affiliates reflected again on international agendas and the US IGF and how they linked to our work and our agendas. And she has a really, engaging and interesting presentation on all of that, and was drawing connections between what they're focusing on and what we're focusing on. So NetThing it's the Australian community coming together, but we should not lose sight of the fact that we are part of a broader global community, and that we have things to hear from them and things to offer them. Partly we've seen it through, I think we watch the APR IGF, we'll be watching NetHUI as it comes up, being open to those different voices and perspectives and saying, well, there's a resonance here, and there are things that we have to offer in terms of a greater conversation. So I think that has been a hot mess of a sum up, basically. But I've been really pleased with the way the steering committee has worked through adverse conditions all through the year. And I've been really pleased at the way that the community has come to the party in our conversations. I think where we could do better is making us more visible out there ahead of time, so that more people know and they can join in. I'm not sure, Sandra's got a hand, Keith's had a hand pop up. I'm not sure if you want to speak. I would invite others to give their thoughts as well.
I was applauding.
I was applauding too, but it would be great if anyone in the last couple of minutes wants to share anything before we say goodnight. Cheryl.
Definitely.
It's not working, Cheryl. I think satellite is letting you down at this moment. Oh, there she goes. Do we want to go, anyone else in the last couple of minutes while we wait for Cheryl to come back?
I think she's trying to turn the video off and to talk without the video. So let's give Cheryl a second.
There we go.
Try again, Cheryl.
I think she's been peak hour congestioned.
Yeah.
It's that time of the day. It's not right. Look,
we're about to wrap up, so last chance for anyone to share. Paul Brooks.
I put my hand up as someone. I started off with the organising committee. I dropped off. Things got busy. So as someone who's not on the organising committee but still staying here to the dying breath, I would like to give a hearty congratulations and thank you for all on the organising committee that turned what could have been something that we might have needed to apologise for as a quality, not so, something that we had difficulty with, turned out to be a fantastic event. So thank you, everybody. And I've gone.
Thanks.
Yes,
Paul.
thank you, Paul. You're frozen.
You're frozen. Holly's clapping. Anyone else?
I can't see anyone. So
no, it's such a rowdy bunch. I can't believe it's silence.
It's late on Friday. It's been 2 days. Going for 2 days rather than 1 day was a big call. I think it's paid off.
It was.
Hey, Andrew.
I just like to quote Sir Humphrey, "We done all right."
Yeah.
And may I suggest, if we can turn off all our videos, maybe then she'll have enough bandwidth to talk. I've done that before, like sometimes it works.
I think it's just Cheryl, maybe, but it's time to just time to end.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of stutter going on, but we've seen your comments on the side there, Cheryl, and I think it's a collective woohoo, and that is a wrap. So thank you.
That is a wrap. And
thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, everybody.
MC Melody, most valued player. I think you have a bunch of people who are now your fan club, from afar. I hope that's not too creepy, but you could maybe set up a Twitter account or an Instagram. Melody's advice on online activity.
We'll
Famous
turn
on
you
the
into
internet now.
We'll turn you into a meme, Melody. We'll make you a meme.
And can I
Thank you.
just say, behind
Melody.
every great woman, there looks like there's 3 men.
Nice. Well done, Melody.
Okay. See you guys.
Okay,
Bye.
have a good weekend, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
And poor Donna, I reckon she's got stuck online, right? She's been stuck for days.
Oh, you reckon that's the thing?
Can you? Poor Donna Austin is just sort of still here, but not here.
I thought she loved us so much she didn't want to leave, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
She's not here at all. I think she's just some weird bug because we tried to get her involved in the outer workshop and she wasn't really here.
Yeah.
All
right, we
Happy?
might.
Are you? Anything before we leave?
I think that's it. I think we might still be streaming, so we might actually cut off.